Go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mind Your Own Business coaching call. I'm so happy you're here. My favorite humans all in the same place. Thank you for coming. We are going to talk about something that's, I think, foundational in our success as business owners, which is sales today. And I think this is going to probably be about a 4-part series. And I want to tell you something. For 7 years, I was in private practice and an MLMer wanted me to join her team. And for 7 years, I said to her, no, thank you. I could never be a salesperson for 7 years. And in my mind, I would literally tell her, oh, I don't sell, I help people. Like they were mutually exclusive categories, my friends. So 4 years ago, started my coaching and consulting and speaking business. And I realized if I was going to succeed, I better figure out selling. And I practiced with a friend of mine who's a top real estate agent here in town. And I practiced and role played. And she goes, oh, you are really bad. I go, I know. So my first hire was a sales coach. Go figure. I made 6 figures my first year in business. Okay. Sales is sales every time. It doesn't change. Business models are business models every time. They don't change. And once you figure out the sales process, you can use it wherever you need to go. Okay? So I'm going to give you a training here that my corporate teams pay me $6,000 to learn. It is the exact system, yes, that helped me go from I don't sell to becoming the professional saleswoman of the year of Nevada a year after I went to my first network marketing luncheon ever. Like I was not a salesperson. So how the heck did that happen? I'm going to show you how and the exact system so that you know every single time you get on a phone call with someone that you can do sales. Who's excited about this? Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me start off with this. The only reason you're in Euphoria and have been blessed to be on this call, to be in this organization, is someone sold to you. There's a synonym for selling. It's called sharing. Someone shared this with you, or maybe they attracted you to them, or maybe they served you and figured out what do you need in your life and gave you some options and you chose Euphoria. Okay. So the only way that we can go and change the world is by mastering sales. Some people in the industry even say leadership is sales. It's like they're so intertwined. Service is sales. So whatever you think it needs to be successful in business, that's what selling is. Okay. And the reason I became Saleswoman of the Year is because I'm a psychologist. And what are the 2 skills that a psychologist has? What do you think? You can unmute yourself if you want. What are psychologists awesome at doing? You can get in the chat room.
Listening.
That's the first thing. And the second thing, can anyone guess?
Asking questions.
Asking questions. Oh my gosh, you guys. Asking questions and listening. So my first year of business, I looked back and I'm like, I feel like I've gone on a lot of coffee dates. I feel like I've met a lot of people. And I was like, let's just add that up. I went on 213 coffee dates my first year of business. I didn't know any of those humans. I'm not saying that's duplicatable. I'm saying what I did during those coffee dates is duplicatable. And this is what I did. I talked as little as I possibly could. And I asked as many questions as I possibly could. And I figured out with the person and the human in front of me, what are you up to in the world? What lights your fire? What are you passionate about? How's that going? How can I help you? How can I serve you? The number one goal when I was a speaker at 44 events my first year was I would get up on stage and people would say, oh my God, she's the speaker? I had no idea she was the speaker. I was just getting to know her and she was asking me all these questions about me. And I didn't tell anyone I was speaking. I got to know the person in front of me. So like little Zachary said when he was up at Lake Tahoe and he looked through a telescope across the lake, the huge, huge lake, he exclaimed, I see humans. You all, as women and men in network marketing, this is our superpower. You are already great at seeing humans. The more you see humans, the more you will sell, okay? And the more you will change the world. So if you guys want to mute yourselves, that's awesome. Thank you for coming in and answering that. Okay, so again, another foundational piece I want to share with you. When I was at all my Brendan Burchard events before, COVID stopped all that, he had Dean Graziosi come up, who's a good friend of his, and he's a billionaire. And whether you like Dean Graziosi or you're not, don't ever click on a YouTube of his or you'll see him the rest of your life. But he buys like $500,000 of ads each month. But he is a #1 sales guy, like one of the top in the world. And he said this about sales, that you need to believe 2 things about your product and your service that's your responsibility. And this is the belief you need to have. You need to believe in your products and service so much that there's only 2 options if people don't buy from you. The first option is they'll go with someone else of lesser quality. That sounds like blind nutrition to me. If they don't go with us, they'll get crappy vitamins and supplements from somewhere made for the masses that they'll probably pee out anyways. Or maybe they'll even get toxicity, or maybe they'll be malnourished, right? So you got to believe, 1, if people don't go with you, they'll go with someone of lesser quality. And the only other option, if they don't go with you, is they'll go with nothing at all. So both are bad. So they won't get health. They won't have epic performance. They won't feel like we feel. And he said, no one can do that job for you. You have to build your belief in those 2 things. That's your responsibility. And once you believe those 2 things, if you truly do, you cannot help but share what you have with people, because what a blessing that is. Okay? Second piece of foundational work, and then we're going to spend the next couple weeks on this 4-part series and really nail it for euphoria, really dial it in. Oh my gosh, I just had a brain, what was I going to say? Shoot. It'll come back to me. Okay, so basically in your handout, there's 4 steps to a sales conversation. And I want us today to really think about this in terms of our product. And then in the future, we'll also talk about the opportunity, because the conversations will be, and the questions you ask will be a little different if you're having a business conversation versus the product. Both are great. So person sitting in front of you could kind of dictate what you're going to be mostly talking about, but neither here nor there. So let's talk about this, and let's look at Travis's script and think about it from that viewpoint as well, and how he uses this sales process. Because remember, sales is sales every time. It doesn't change. So there's 4 parts, and what I call this is my mind the gap sales training. And the gap, what's the gap? The gap is like that place that you jump over to get on the what's it called on the in London, the metro? No, it's not the metro. What is it called? But the gap in sales is where that person is and where they want to be. There's a gap between those 2. And your job as a salesperson is you're going to bridge the gap. But we first have to figure out what is the gap. So this is what I want you to write down. You are selling the solution, not the product. We sell transformation, not information. We sell the solution, not the product. And we sell transformation, not information. And this is where people get really wrong. Well, let me tell you about the 25 years of science and blah, blah, blah. And people are like, I want to know what's it going to do for me. And I, as a salesperson, cannot possibly know how I can help you if I don't know what problems you're having. To not ask you what problems you're having is, I believe, presumptuous of me. It's kind of rude. It's kind of arrogant. It's not humble at all, is it? So anyone that's like, I don't want to be a pushy salesperson, good, because if you're pushy, it's not going to work. So this process is going to help you come from this servant leadership, this service-based sales, which I know you all want. But I never tell people, oh my gosh, I've got something you need. How dare I? How dare I? I don't know what they need. Now, if I know what you need, I then get to be the knight in shining armor. I get to be Santa Claus that delivers the gift of the thing you just told me you needed. So the first step is we need to identify the gap. So let's talk about this, and we can unmute ourselves as we have things to share here. But I want you to make 2 columns on your piece of paper. The first column is problems, and the second column is aspirations. This is gold, you guys. So let's use our 30-day healthy living program, our 30-day jumpstart, as an example of our discussion today. But let's brainstorm. What problems do you think people have that are great candidates for our program? What do they say to themselves in the quiet of their mind, in bed at night? What do they complain about? What problems are they having? Using their words. This is key. What do you hear people complaining about in terms of health, diets, spending money on diets? Let's throw out some great examples. Joby.
I just can't lose this weight since menopause.
Write that down. Write it down. I just can't lose this weight since menopause. What else? So good.
My body's broken.
My body's broken. Everyone else loses weight but me. Write that down.
I am so afraid of this COVID.
I'm so afraid of COVID.
Lack of energy.
I don't have any energy.
My knees hurt.
Got it. Good. Everything in me hurts. I'm sick of this extra weight. It makes me hurt. Another one I'll add. I don't know if I can waste any more money on a diet. I've spent so much money on diets. I just don't know. I know myself and I fail every time. Hi, Judy.
I would add, I hear a lot of women say, I can't lose weight because of my thyroid.
Yes. But I'm different. I have 3 people who just joined our program because of thyroid issues. Good. What else? I'm so sick of looking at myself in the mirror. I'm so sick of how my clothes work. I can't believe clothes feel. I can't believe I put this weight back on. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Write that down. Yep, go ahead.
Erin, these are going on the left-hand side under
problems.
problem, but we're writing them in that person's inside voice.
Yes, we always want to use our ideal client's language. They don't want a 30-day jumpstart. They want to fit into their jeans. They want to get rid of this weight, even if they have this thyroid problem.
Well, I
How
also,
about this? I'm on the and then I'll get to you, Leah. How about this? I'm so sick of being on the diet yo-yo roller coaster. Is this one of those? Leah.
how about, I don't have the motivation. I don't really know where to start. I need help. What's the right help?
Oh.
You know, you just feel overwhelmed.
I don't even know what to do. Write that down. I don't even have a clue. What do I eat? What do I do for exercises? There's so much information out there. I don't even know what to do. It's overwhelming. Everywhere I look, there's a new plan. Should I eat carbs? Should I not eat carbs? Are fats good? Are fats bad? Should I exercise this way? Should I lift weights? Blah, blah, blah. Write all that down. You don't know what you do. You're confused. And we know what a confused mind does.
I don't want to give up my alcohol.
Oh, yeah. You can't make me give up my alcohol, and I'm addicted to sugar and I love it and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay, good, you guys. You see, these are their problems. This is what we solve.
Oh, I don't want to eat differently than my family.
Great.
Oh.
I have to, good, that's really good. I cook for my family. This is way too much work if I have to cook separately for myself. Nice.
How do I meal prep? Because that's always a big one.
I don't
have time.
Time for meal prep. Yep. Good. Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to mute you all again. Okay, so that is your first column. That's usually where most salespeople stop. Their sales pages, go look at them. They're all about just the problems you fix and blah, blah, blah. But what makes a master of sales is linking up how your solution solves their aspirations as well. So when we know what people are aspiring, what they really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. When we know that, oh my gosh, you then are the person that's painting the picture for, oh my gosh, you're making me think it's possible. Yes, I do want that. How does she know? It's like she's in my head. Okay. So let's chime in and let's make our aspiration list. What do people really want?
I so want to fit into those jeans that I fit into before COVID hit.
Write that down.
I just want to feel better.
Yes.
I want my sexy back.
Yes. I want to stop wasting my money.
Yes.
I want this. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Leah.
Oh, I was gonna say, I want something that works for me.
Boom.
Boom. I want this to be the last time I do this.
Write that down, you guys. That is like gold in their heads. Imagine you doing a Facebook post. Wouldn't you like this to be the last 30-day program you ever had to do? I mean, you guys, that's what they want.
I want to feel this good always.
Yes.
Mountain metaphors.
Yes. What else do they want?
I want my husband to look at me, because some of it's relationship, right?
Yep.
So it's like, I want to look good naked.
Yep. I want to feel comfortable in my skin.
Again, yeah.
I want to feel confident and desirable.
Yes. You already are. Oh my God. My girl crush. I can send you sweet nothings all day long, Leah.
I just want her just to like look at her.
Oh my God. Okay.
Sorry, Leah.
So this is what you're going to do to bridge the gap. You're going to use one word. Who knows the word? Who knows the word that bridges in sales the gap between where they are and where they want to be? I think we've talked about it on a past call. The word is imagine. It's the number one word that you can use in sales. And I want it to become part of your vocabulary. I want you to think of saying, imagine being able to ditch the diet yo-yo once and for all. Imagine feeling sexy and hot. Imagine feeling comfortable in your skin. Imagine never having to pay money again for a diet. Imagine conquering your mindset once and for all so you don't put the weight back on. Imagine knowing what to do for yourself once and for all. And the powerful storytellers, salespeople are storytellers, and you imagine their perfect day. So it looks like this. Imagine waking up and just feeling good in your skin and going to grab your morning green juice, getting in your favorite exercise activity, enjoying the people around you, having a productive day. And imagine getting to the end of the day and your head hits the pillow and you realize you've kept the promises you made to yourself. You've been the person that's no longer in the cycle of addiction to food and toxic thoughts. Imagine you've finally, once and for all, quieted down the chatter in your head. Imagine the refrigerator is no longer calling your name 15 times a day, Imagine that, like that. So you see what we're doing there? Okay, amazing. So when we have to identify the problem and think about it in those solutions. And so I think this week's training, and I'll open up for discussion, I just really want to focus on your first step with people. When people, whether I'm selling to them and reaching out or I'm selling because they've reached out to me, my first question is, like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'd love to tell you about the 30-day program, but first tell me, what are your goals? Like, what can I help you with? I do not lead with my bulleted things that this awesome challenge gives you. I'm not going to give you any information, especially price, until I know what your pain point is. And I want you to understand and unlock the pain point for people. If you cannot do that, you cannot solve the pain. The greatest salespeople identify for the person. They have them identify what's their pain point, and you stay in that pain. And next week, we're going to talk about you even increase their pain. It's called widen the gap. And to give you a piece of what that looks like, it's like, well, tell me, like, how is this struggle impacting you? What's going to happen if you don't solve this problem? So you're going to widen the gap. You're going to increase the pain point, because if they can see in their mind, oh my gosh, you're right, if I don't finally solve this food addiction problem or whatever, yeah, I'm not intimate with my husband anymore. That's a problem. I'm not going to be, blah, blah, blah. And they will tell you, but we've got to widen the gap. So the first job as you're enrolling people into the 30-day program is to figure out, like, tell me, what are your goals? And they will tell you. And guess what? We've got a solution for that. I can guarantee it. How can we not? We have individualized DNA supplements, food plans. What's coming next month when we do these challenges, we're going to have an app for that. I mean, we literally are going to have a solution for what we have. Mindset. We have the missing link. We can say, I think the part of the problem is, and I don't know if you're anything like me, but what's been missing in all these diets has been the mindset piece. I have an expert. And you don't have a broken body, you have a broken mind. Thank you, Heather Andrews, for that quote, right? And so you're going to be able to sell into this program no matter what their problem is, because we've got a solution. Like, it's unbelievable. So I'll open up discussion. Why don't you unmute yourself? Any questions or thoughts? Let's stay with that this week of, like, understanding the pain point and their problem that you need to then solve, because people will pay for solutions.
I almost cried, Erin, when you did your painting the solution, because I've been battling, and sorry guys. And when you painted that, because it is the 30-pound weight gain but it's been the same ones for like the last 2 years, and I haven't. And when you painted that picture, and now that I've lost 7 pounds because I've been in this 30-day challenge, and I'm showing up for it, I will never let this go. Because and the other thing is that last night I went over to a friend's house, and we were sitting there, and as soon as I got out of the car, and he had seen the before and after, and he's like, holy, like, wow. But it's more than just the weight. There's a glowing. It's not just the mind. It is the mindset, because it's the mindset that comes through. And so through all of these 30-day challenges, like, I've been battling my weight for probably 5 years. And so this is the first time in those 5 years that I've actually lost consistently, and I'm showing up for. But the thing too is that the DNA has taken the pain away, and I actually ran up the hill this morning and my knees didn't hurt.
Wow. I mean,
so it's the inflammation.
Powerful story, Heather.
But no, it is the fact of, giving up the alcohol, giving up all this stuff, and wanting to be in that space. And when you create that picture, and when your mind shifts to remembering, and I did a Facebook Live on it this morning, in that I used to do all these things. And where did I lose that? I felt I had a defeated mindset because of all the bullshit that has happened. And so we have to somehow, once you dig into that, like, there's just so much. But when you just painted your solution, it just made me cry, because I'm in it and I'm coming out of it, and it's great. And now
you get to paint that picture for other people. And I implore you all to take people on that journey. When you can take people on that journey of imagining what they want.
Yeah. And it was Orlando.
How powerful it is. It's a heart connection. It's not, people buy emotionally. They want their problems solved. you would probably whip out your credit card now for me and say, Erin, I don't know what you got. Just give me it. I want that. I want that life. That's the power of understanding what your ideal clients suffer with. Thank you.
It's about how you make them feel. And I just wanted to,
Yes.
if that's the only piece that through all of this, it's that painting that picture of, and I do the same thing when we're doing publishing calls. And it's imagine when
Yep.
you publish your story and it inspires one person.
Yeah.
What's that going to make you feel
Imagine
like?
them texting you saying, Heather, your book,
Yeah.
I just read it in my backyard. It's changed my life. Like you, so you get people to understand that outcome and you take them there. Yes. Thank you,
Oh,
Heather. We
yeah.
love you. We're so happy for you.
Thank you, Erin. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
I
And
gotta
we
jump
will
on.
deal with objections in the future trainings because it's so good.
I got to jump on because I got to jump off and take my sister to the airport. Heather,
Oh, good.
I am so excited for you. And honest to God, I feel like I was you in, say, the end of March. And it'd been 8 years with the weight. And I can go back in my journals every January and here's the year I'm going to, honest to God, nothing. And when I did the 90 days, and I think with Orlando and we showed up and then we commented, we lived it here. And I think for both of us, we said it like the same conference one day or the same conference call. We both wanted to be the testimony for our product. And I had to have a personal transformation. I've been on the product 1.5 years, but I hadn't lost the weight. I hadn't lost the pain. I hadn't had the whole brand new skin. I didn't done that. And I did it through losing the weight, showing up for me. And I feel like now I can sell the product because I on the product and in the community, right? With the support, I changed my identity. I am back now an athlete. I am a skinny woman. I'm
Yep.
a postmenopausal, healthy, fit, skinny. And honey, I'm going to sit with you for the next 67 days. And we're going to, you know what? We'll lift some mineral water.
Yeah.
Okay? Congratulations.
Love you, Joby.
Love you. Love you all. I hate to have to run, but I got to take my sister to the airport.
Yeah.
Erin's
Okay.
fabulous training. Man, I can't wait for the next 3. I'm going to
Oh,
sell
good.
stuff.
Some of you might be feeling like, oh shit, I don't know when I'm going to transform, and I don't know if I'll ever look like Erin in a bikini and blah, blah, blah. And what I want you to know is what's super powerful in sales is taking people on the journey with you. So you do not want to wait until you've transformed, although it changes your identity because you become the woman that keeps the promises she makes to herself. And when you do, watch out world, you are a
Yes.
leader. That's what happens. That's why Tony Robbins and all of them say, do something that's difficult for your body every single day that you push through a little bit. It changes your brain. It's the one thing that treated my depression 8 years ago. I was not this person. I got myself to the gym. I had no idea it was going to change my life. It's why I'm addicted to it now, because if you knew how good I felt, I would like to think I would have done it a long time ago, right? But people just don't know because they haven't created real brain change.
Yeah.
But it's so intoxicating and
Yeah.
yes, it changes your identity. But if you don't have that transformation yet, say, I'm about to embark on something. Who wants to go with me? This is what they're creating for people. Joby just looked at her journal for 8 years. Is that you? Every year you like, oh, I'm going to change. Do you want to, I'm that woman. Do you want to come with me? So there's also that model of use others to influence as you're on the journey. That's what Heather's doing. And she's getting lots of interest. She's like,
Yeah.
that's what Pamela's doing. She was never addicted to her health in that way on social media. And people are coming out of the woodworks because she's like, I'm going to do this. I didn't want to do it in the past and I want to do it now. And I'm sick of being this way and look at me now and blah, blah, blah. And people are joining her. So let people come on the journey with you. Garth's standing here laughing at me. He's like, oh.
And it also goes that same way too. And I mean, we do this all the time when people are publishing their books, whether it's a 3,500 page word chapter in like our balance book or when we launch. So this is where you really need, as Erin said, like it's anything that you do. And if you want to be known for something and you're branding, that's your journey, because people, it makes it relatable. It makes it, you guys become very vulnerable. We all become vulnerable. I mean, do you think that I like posting pictures of my 200-pound body on Facebook? But this is my brand. This is Reinvention 2.0. And this is where also, you know, like, you're gonna probably go out and find your niche of who your client, and like, everybody's our client, but this is also where this is going to become your branding. This is going to be become what you're known for. And so when I talk about so this is when you take those people on in your, the authentic self, it's people are buying you in this.
They're
And so the more relatable that you are,
they want what I have, though. They know what's underneath that. Exactly.
yeah.
Good.
And, you know, so it's the power of your story and how you create that, that's really going to drive this forward for you, and
Yes.
for all of us. And that's been the thing that Erin, been the thing, is like, the more, and I mean, she said facts, what is it? Facts tell, stories sell. So the more you take people on this journey with you, and the more you show up in this space, and people watch this, they're like, hey, I want this too.
Yes.
This looks great.
Yes.
And this community looks powerful.
Yes. Love you. Thank you. Anyone else before we hop off? So good. Thank you, Tina, for your, nothing sells better than a before and after. Hi, Sue. I don't know when you joined. Welcome, Sue. Yes, Leah.
So many things that I am challenged with, because maybe because the Facebook or the social media has kind of put a negative impact on how I view things, and how I've seen people, you know, where everything is like, oh, look at me. So I kind of I've kind of stayed away from, you know, showing up and branding myself. I actually do have, I know a lot about branding. I did brand and media licensing for IGT. So I know about the branding, and I think I just need to get out of my comfort zone and use social media and be brave, and to really show up and take people who can relate to me, to who I am, and take their journey. And so thank you for sharing that, Heather, because to me, that's one thing that I've always been scared of, because I feel like if I post something on Facebook, I feel like I'm showing off, and really, you know, I'm not. I'm just sharing my joy. But a lot of people are haters. Of course, we own that.
Leah, your goal is a mindset of abundance. So let me ask you this. When you see me all over social media for the last 8 years, being my happy self, succeeding, what have you thought? Have you thought, oh, what a braggadocious, conceited, egotistical woman? What have you thought?
Actually, for you, because I know you, and I know your intent, and I know who you are, and you're always serving people. That's different.
How did you know me? We've never even gone to coffee. So let's look at that. How did you know me?
I've known you from Arbonne.
You knew me from my personal brand that I've created. So
Yes.
the same, I want you to realize the same thing is what's available to you. So your people know I am not to be hated. They know my heart. And that's what a personal brand is. And so, yeah, no, but if I hadn't gone out there and shared what I love and believe in, and my successes and journey and blah, 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 and you wouldn't know that I was approachable and wanting everyone else to succeed. So yeah, you are going to be your own brand.
Yes, and that's something that, you know, spending my weekend with my best friends last weekend, I got a lot of criticism, you know, very, very subtle, but very strong. And now that listening to you guys, that really put things into perspective, where I'm like, you know what, this is the time. I'm hearing that I need to be out there, and I need to start branding myself, regardless of what people say about me, or whatever my own personal family and friends think about me. Because, you know, I hear this thing over and over again, you know, you create the vibe, or is the vibe your tribe, right?
You are getting so much discernment now that you put your order in with God of what you want for your life.
Yes.
Look at what's happening. You're getting discernment. You're getting the people that are trying to hold you back, and you're like, ew, and you're getting discernment about it. Like, and God and you are going to create something incredible in your life. So you better believe you're going to be on the attack. So watch out for that, because you're up to amazing things with God. And we all know that's what happens. And so haters are just confused supporters, people. Haters are confused supporters, because
And-
you just trigger something in them that they don't want to work on or that they don't like. And that's not your job. And so, yeah.
Yes.
And
So, yes.
people are going to think that you're crazy. Like, I still work in healthcare, and honestly to God, for all of the things that we do in healthcare, especially right now, I had people in the very beginning that thought I was crazy, and they were like, "Oh, Heather, you're creating this thing." And when I wrote in the first book, it was like, "Oh, Heather, you're just crazy. You're going after something." And now it's like, when I spoke to them, because I spoke to 200 people in my realm of healthcare about showing up, and they were like, "Who is this chick? Because look what she's created outside of her profession." So people are small-minded, and it's up, and when you've been on this chosen path, it's up to us to show them that people can live bigger. And it's okay to want more, be more, do more, because we're chosen to be that. Do we have to go through our own stuff to get there? Absolutely. But God wants for us, and that's why we're all here, because we've been chosen to launch this company in greatness. And one of the things that people come to me are like, and it's my biggest fear, it's like, well, one of the biggest questions is, well, what happens if people want to sell my DNA? How many times have I sent you that, Aaron? How do I answer this, Aaron? Because how do I answer? And so whatever it is in your head, it's going to come, because you have to overcome it.
Awesome. Tina,
I took-
you have something you want to share? Such great comments.
Well, I completely agree with so much that you're saying, Erin. I mean, and Leah, like, I totally get those objections you had, because I hear that all the time. And you're talking to someone who literally was the biggest introvert, had 200 people on Facebook, because I was very strict on who I would friend and let me, get into my life. And I have 2,600 Facebook friends that I grew in over 2 years. And I let people watch me. They love the journey. I always say, let your haters hate you until they want to join you, because they will. And it's happened to me over and over again, because people see your heart, and when they're following you and you're sharing your life, you're sharing your business, but you're sharing your life, you're sharing your passion, you're sharing everything. People get to know you, even if they have never met you. I have people reaching out to me.
And you'll collect a tribe of haters, and we'll deal with that when it happens, because haters just means you're up to something amazing in the world. There's a woman in, she's like, "I hate Dr. Aaron." I'm like, "I have never even talked to you. My success triggers her." Like, I could care less. Not everyone gets an equal say of how well I'm doing. Not everyone is a credible source of how well you're doing. I want to wrap up in a minute here, so I want to love this call.
Hey there.
Kelly.
Yes. What I struggle with is, I feel in my heart of hearts, I want to help people, but I feel like I come across disingenuine or not being authentic. And it's just an internal struggle that I have. And I don't know where it comes from, and I don't know why, but I just feel like it's fake, and I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know where to go with that.
A lot of people struggle with that. Let's talk about that next week, how to have your authentic voice. And maybe as we go through this 4 steps, you'll find, because I didn't know, sometimes I think sales, when people struggle with sales, it's either a mindset issue or a skills issue. And sometimes it's actually a skills issue. I just didn't even know what to say. I didn't know how to bounce back. I didn't know how to do the process. And now it's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for a sales call, because then I get to be my most authentic self. And so I think you might have a sense as you skill up, you might not feel that way, or it might be a mindset issue. So we don't know. And it's why scripts don't work, because your script is not the same as my script. It's why a process works. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
I mean, I tried for 7 years in that company to do the script and to do it right. And guess what? It didn't work. So we're just going to get hats that say hashtag don't be weird, and we're going to sell our way to the top. Okay. We're just going to be ourselves. We're not going to be weird. And we're just going to be amazing salespeople. Hashtag don't be weird. Okay. But I think sometimes the skill set is like, but just show me what to do, because I knew my mindset. I was like, I'm ready to sell. I'm ready to make money. I know God wants this for me, but I don't have a clue what to do. And it's why I hired a sales coach, and I became lethally skilled at the skill set. And guess what? I'm totally my authentic self now. So we'll talk about that, Kelly. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry.
Within that skill set, Erin, it's that meeting people where they're at, and that's the power part of the questions,
It is. It's
because
the
then
power
you
of-
can meet them where they're at.
So the person
because-
asking questions in a conversation is actually the one in charge.
Mhm.
So all those coffee dates I was on, I was totally in charge of those conversations. It was not manipulation, but it was strategic. I'm very strategic. I will never say I'm not strategic. I'm strategic with every question I ask people, depending on where I'm hanging out with them. I'm strategic because I want to solve their solutions. The number one question Santa asks when you sit on his lap is what? What do you want? And then guess what? I get to say, well, let me go check if it's in my bag. Tell me more about what you want. And I might not have the solution. There are people that don't want to give their DNA away. That's fine. Then I can't be your solution. There are people that don't want to give up sugar. It's fine then. I'm not your solution. Santa never says, but let me tell you what's in my bag and why you should want it.
Mhm.
No. Santa is just wonderful because he just pulls out what's on your wish list. But I can't possibly know what to pull out of my gift bag until I know what's on your wish list. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm getting fired up again. Okay, I love you guys. I'm going to end the call there. And we're going to do sales part 2 next week. This was so awesome, right?
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
Nice meeting you all. See ya.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye. Thanks for joining, everyone. Get your teams on this call. So fun. Okay, bye.